Good afternoon. Okay, I am, at a viewer's request, going to show you how to make one of these. I'm doing one bigger. This was a 1 1/4 inch. I'm now going to do a 2 inch because I want a fairly sizable bowl downstairs to put, trims and things in. I was doing some stuff downstairs last night and I thought, yeah, do you know what I need? I need one of them, but bigger. So I've done two. I've went on Pinterest, found 2 inch pentagons, okay, for my sides. You can, I meant to say actually, you can do a pentagon base, but they're quite steep sided, if you get what I mean. They don't flop open as nicely as that one does, if you can imagine. Excuse me, they're not as wide open. I can't describe it. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, they just don't open up as wide. So you can just do it with pentagons or pentagons if you want. Am I staying in shot? Yeah. I'm paranoid about it now. So yeah, so like I said, I found a pattern. I've just drawn the hexagon. Typical, I've got the Sizzix dies here, but the size I want I haven't got. So I cut this one, which was a about 2 and what are they called, 8ths, 2 2/8, so it's just 2/8 too big. So I just trimmed it down. Basically, it's not perfect, but that's the joy of hand stitching. You can wiggle it. So I need 12 of these. I've only got 2 cut at the moment. So all I did was, went on Pinterest, searched for 2 inch pentagons and found a printout. So there's loads on there. There's loads if you Google it. Yeah. So, and what I'm doing is I've got a very straight, I mean, they're really rubbish scissors, but they're great for paper. But they got really nice straight blades. So I'm just cutting to the outside of the black line. Again, we are sewing by hand. There is a little bit of wiggle room, so don't be too worried about everything being 100% perfect. 2, 1 more. I'll probably split this into a couple, well, 2 videos at the very least, I think, because the actual stitching, it takes a bit of time, basically. So I shall sit and do that tonight. Right, okay. So I should have my 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's 6 for the inside and then 6 for the outside. Right, yeah, let's get some fabric. Right, 2 secs, I'll be back with you. Right, I've got these, I think they were 5 inch, no, almost, well, 5 3/4 inch squares. I cut them because I used to make eco-friendly dishcloths, pot scrubbers, with hessian cotton and cotton batting, but I stopped making them because they weren't really selling, I'll be honest with you. So, but of course I'd already cut all this glorious fabric to make a shed load of them, and yeah, I'm working my way through it. I think I cut 2 meters of each one. Anyway, never mind. So I just played around with it, and size wise I can get 2 pentagons on each piece, so that'll be fine. Yeah, when you cut them, make sure you leave yourself a good centimetre. I don't know what a centimetre is, half an inch, 1/4 inch. Yeah, just over 1/4 inch to be able to turn it over and cut it, basically. So I'll just do one with you, and then I shall cut the rest off screen. Pins, where's my pins? I'm just going to pin it for now, and then I will... I'm a thread baster. If you're a gluer, go for it. You do you. Ow. Yeah, I was sat last night doing some... it's kind of crazy patchworky stuff. I thought, God, I really could do with a wide open, almost bowl type thing to hold all the bits and pieces in, and I didn't have one, so I thought, you know what, somebody asked me to make one live with you guys. This is going to be noisy if I where's me cutting that? You can use a rotary cutter. I'm just going to use scissors because I've got them here now, so doesn't have to be a work of art, just cut them out. Yeah, so you can whiz around this with a rotary cutter, which I might do for the rest of them actually. So you can, like I did on this one, do alternate patterns, which I might do actually. I might do some butterfly, some of the darker blue, some of the lighter blue, and kind of go from there. I don't know, we'll have a look. Just as long as it looks alright, that's fine by me. As I say, you don't have to go too fussy, probably being a bit too fussy there. Again, if you've never done this, oh, I'm so organised, I haven't even got a blooming thread handy. 2 seconds. If you can, find a really contrasting thread. It doesn't matter if you haven't got one, just grab a thread. This is not my high quality thread, it's just I don't know what brand it is even, it's just a sewing cotton, so that'll do fine. This is just in case you've never done English paper piecing before. It's pretty this is how to not thread a needle. It's pretty basic stuff. Once you've done it once, you thank you. Yeah, once you've done it once, you know what to do. So okay, I start with the pin on the knot on the outside, so that you can easily find it, chop it when it comes time to take your papers. So you just fold like you do when you're doing a hexie. If you've never done these before, you need to get your corners fairly neat. I put a stitch in the corner just to hold it. Go to the next one. You can do a stitch in the middle if you want, completely up to you. You just need it to keep that shape. You can press it if you want to whilst it's on the paper. That will definitely give you a nice creased edge. Again, I don't tend to bother too much. I was a bit shy on that one, but it'll be fine. Yeah, I think that'll be okay actually. You can almost sort of finger press them really. Anyway, there. So I'm going to do that for all of these shapes. If you want to fussy cut, you can. And fussy cut as in, say you, like if you've got a fabric like this butterfly one, let me just grab a piece if it'll come here. And you particularly want like that yellow butterfly, you could put your paper on there, draw around it and leave it, and just cut out a 1cm border all the way around, and then yeah, then turn it over and obviously thread baste it like I've just done. Yeah, so you could do that if you wanted to, but I tend to cut all the bits, all the shapes, get them all thread basted, and then start the stitching, and then decide on a design. So I'm going to do this. I've got 12 to do, so I need 6 for the inside, As I say, 6 for the outside. The outside ones you can make all the same colour like I have on this one. I can't remember what I did on the others. They're downstairs. I think I did all the denim-y stuff. There was a scrap of denim I had. So what I might do is actually I might keep this darker one for the outside. Cut my the outside pentagons all in that one, and then the 2 inside ones have the butterfly and the batik fabric alternately. So anyway, I will come back to you when that's done, and then yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Just a little hint here. I'm about to cut the fabric for the outer pieces, and I've got 3 pieces laid up here. This is kind of I suppose a normal weight quilting cotton. So I just I'm going to cut out 2 lots at the same time, or 3 lots at the same time. This is where you really need to make sure that everything's lined up. Yeah, as I say, you can use anything for this outer, and I did think actually you could also interface it if you want it slightly stiffer. If you haven't got any fabric, just grab an old blouse or a pair of jeans, you know, anything really. These can literally be made out of whatever you have hanging around. So now I know it looks like I'm wasting an awful lot of fabric, but I've had these cut in my stash for what seems like ever. So and the little tiny bits that are coming off, let me show you in 2 seconds. I will use them to make smaller hexagons or Suffolk puffs or something like that. So obviously you can do this with your outer fabric if you're just doing one colour or one fabric. Yeah, it just makes life a little bit easier. And if you've got a die cutter that cuts them, marvellous. So yeah, bits like that I'll probably keep, because I can get a smaller hexie out of that. This is how we end up with scrap bins. And, you know, scrap bins with a total amount of blooming stuff, and oh. And also, you know, obviously these are great scrap busters, especially if you make the smaller ones. You only need a tiny, I'll say they were 1 1/4, so if you've got a 2-inch charm pack or something like that that you're looking at and you're thinking, I don't know what to do with this, well, obviously you can make these out of it. So yeah, I'll carry on thread basting. Again, in case you're new, again, another thing I thought while I was cutting out, if you are new, you can get this glue here. I think Prim do one. This is a Bowen one, and it's a fabric glue basically. So you can actually sort of glue around your templates, stick the fabric on, do all your stitching, and then it will peel off and come out. But I just thread based. I just find it just as easy. So each to their own, my lovelies, each to their own. You do whatever your little old heart desires you to do. I'm not your mum. I'm not going to tell you off if you do it differently. There was something else, as I say, yeah, you can interface them. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, I bought the, in case I forget to talk about it when I come at the end there. Bear with me. Oh, good grief, that was a good bit of pinning. Yeah, these are the kind of things that I use my little ones for. This is, I keep them downstairs. So this is my orts. And when I said about fuss cutting, so I lined that one up so I could get the bee. And then I've done 2 in that fabric, 2 in that fabric, 2 in that fabric, and then something that coordinates in the bottom. And then leopard print obviously on the outside. So, and again, felt bottom. I might do felt on the next one actually, because it does give it a nice solid base. And then this is another one that I keep downstairs. It's got all my See, this is the size hexie that I can get out of those scraps. Absolutely no problem at all. In fact, I can get bigger ones than that, but anyway, you know what I mean. Or Suffolk puffs. And again, this one I did 3 different there, and then I fussy cut, well, almost fussy cut for the butterflies. They were probably scraps, so I thought I was just going to use them up. So yeah, and that's kind of what I use them for. Right, I'll carry on thread basting these, and then I'll come back, give you a little chat, and then yeah, I'll explain in a sec. Won't be long. Right, so I thread basted all the shapes. So that's all the outside there, the innies. I'll do those. I'll show you the rest of the set. I forgot to also mention you don't need your hexagon yet, but we might as well do it while we're here doing all the thread basting, and then everything's ready to go. So yeah, I meant to talk to you about paperweight actually. This is thin copier paper, bog standard copier paper. If you can get one that's slightly thicker, it will stop a lot of the buckling. I did have to go back in with an intermediate stitch there, not just the corners, because it wasn't holding very well. So yeah, I would, if you can print on a thin card, very thin, you know, you don't want anything too thick because your needle's got to go through it if you're doing thread basting. Yeah, the classic is to use an old magazine, or you've got a Beano album, or you know, that kind of thicker paper basically. So it just keeps your shapes true. You can get some stuff called hexie form. I've never tried it myself. The closest I've come to it is when I cut my own, which actually these little ones are, and it's pelmet violin inside there. And what it means, I've done these like this because I tend to stab stitch these down onto things, as opposed to sort of do the classic English paper piecing with them, and it means that I can leave the pelmet violin inside. I can just leave it inside, so the form itself is actually left inside because it is a kind of a, well, it's a washable fabric type stuff. I don't know what hexie form is. I know Emma at the Vintage Sewing Box uses it a lot. It's just an additional expense that, you know, if you can make do with paper, just make do with paper. And if you watch Christine Create and Craft with Christine, she's got like what are they? Kind of like a plastic one that you can take out and keep renewing. So I've never seen them over here. They might be here, I just don't know about them. So okay, so obviously these are my, yes, this base is a little bit big. Like I say, hand sewing, you can wiggle it. So so that's going to be my inside. So I'll have like that. So that will go onto there, that one there, that one there, and that one there. So I don't know if you're getting all that in. No, hang on. Oh, yes you are. I can't see straight. So yeah, so once all the sides are stitched together, it'll be quite a nice size bowl, and obviously that's the outside ones. So what I do is I tend to get a little, these are the lids off the IKEA boxes. They sell them every now and again where they just sell them for like 10p, so I pick them up because they're handy little trays. So what I will do tonight in part 2, you'll see, tonight I will sit and stitch right sides together, and really small, as small as you can, stitches just down one seam. Okay, that's all we're doing at the minute, so they'll be joined together. And then get your next one and do the same again, one seam only. All right, and same for the rest of it. Don't worry about your hexie for a minute, just get rid of that. So you'll stitch those all together, one seam only, like so it'll look like that. Okay, and then join those two together to make a ring. It's so easy. Please don't think it's complicated, because it isn't. If you've got a directional fabric, you can sometimes, this isn't directional, it's multi-directional, but I might just turn that one that way and that one that way, so that my butterflies, you know, kind of look the right way up. It doesn't matter, it's multi-directional. So I should do that with stitch those on that one seam only for those, and then I'll do the same for the outer pieces, and I'll come back for part 2 to talk you through the rest of it. Again, it's not hard, but if you've never done it before, you might be sat there scratching your head. So that's tonight's therapy for me. Okay, don't worry about that. We're not doing that yet. I'm just going to stitch these down one seam only, and you'll form a ring, a flat bottomed ring. Okay, you've got to have the flat edge there, so you know you're just stitching one of the side edges. Okay, that's all you're doing. One seam. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. All right, so you need a straight edge at the bottom. Don't get a pointy bit at the bottom. That's no good to man or beast. I think it'd be quite impossible to stitch it that actually. Yeah, anyway, so just stitch one seam together. And yeah, I'll come back with a part 2. I hope it all makes sense. Just let me know. Any questions, please. It doesn't matter what it is. No daft questions in this place. Yeah, just ask, okay? So for stitching, I switched to a slightly better thread. I can't remember what brand this is, but it's not, I mean, it's good enough. It is fairly tough, actually, to be fair. But I go for a slightly thinner, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, it's a better quality, slightly thinner thread. Although this is thin, but not as thick as Gutermann. I'm not making any sense now. Just choose a thread. Right. I'll see you for part 2 before I start waffling on anymore and confusing the life out of everybody. Back soon. Bye.